there was practical school life, they used to wake up early in the morning, which becomes a very good day for a students for a very complete discipline. Because of lockdown, the education system is going underneath. For this reason, the percentage of early marriage is also increasing, especially in rural areas. If we focus, so I, if we
10
focus
seconds.
if we focus and come up for university students, they are not promoting to their next class. So it's incredible. And I think this lockdown has diminished possibilities of the proper education. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tasneem. That was a really, really wonderful speech from you with some very great logics. Okay, so let's move to the next debater from the evening, Ms. Samiha Jaman from the opposition side.
Thank you, dear moderator, to giving me the chance to speak. And I'm Samiha Zaman, and good evening, everyone. And I'm going to tell about the benefits of lockdown who work from home, especially the mom who have infant. They have to take care of their children, and they get enough time to take care of their children, because they didn't go to the office, and they can save their time from attending the office, and it's really good, and it's better for them, because they can spend a lot of times with their children. And the job, if the newborn baby, for baby, it's really hard to keep them keep on eyes them, and that's why it's good to work from the home. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samia Jaman, for this wonderful speech. And let's move to the next debater from the evening, Mr. S.K. Shora.
Thanks to my moderator for giving me the floor. I am on the favor side. Today's topics, there are a lot of topics we already discussed. Now I am talking about the business and trade all over the world and in our Bangladesh. Business in the transportation and storage industry are the most affected, both in terms of the reduced exporting and importing rate is around 81% to 80% representatively. Among the responding business who were competing trade, all the financial performance was outside normal, and is also challenges identified to exporting and importing because of the COVID-19 issue. The transport restriction is increased 34%, and the cost also increased more than 21%. For example, in our country, all of the EPZ in Bangladesh, there have a lot of foreign factories, and they already give the lot of tax in our government. But right now they are stuck for the COVID-19, and they cannot import or export anything from their factory to all over the world. That's why they are stopped their business. So who will give the tax to our government? And all of the people in my country is farmers. So if the transportation is off, how can they move or sell their things to, and they cannot also supply anything from another city to another. So how they will eat and how they will survive? And from the opponent side, some of our teammates already said they can doing the online job.
10 seconds.
So without deal, how can we run a business? So if the lockdown is going on, our life must be miserable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shora. That was a wonderful speech. And let's move to the next debater from the opposition side, Ms. Raunak Jahan. Is Ms. Ronak Jahan here?
Okay, didn't you listen me? I am already talking. Sorry.
No,
May I
sorry.
start? May I
Yes,
start?
please.
Oh, okay. Heartiest thanks to respected moderator to provide me a room for talking about today's topic, and that is lockdown makes our life miserable. I totally disagree with the topic because I think lockdown is making our life a little tougher but not miserable, because shop for daily necessities, hospitals, pharmacies are out of control of lockdown. So it's a crying need to protect the whole nation from this pandemic to declare lockdown. In case of poor people, we all know that our country is developing country, economy is not stable. Hence, as a part of a state, we should take some individual responsibilities to take care of the poor. Besides, neighboring country like India, countries for Middle East are also raising their hand of aids for the poor people. Let's talk about the education. Do you think education is more important than life? If you live, you will have the luxury of studying hard during rest of your life. It's very absurd to make education as an excuse to demeritize the situation of lockdown. Uh, Apart from this, with regard to mental health, there are 1,000 ways to recover from mental depression. You can go for walk, you can do some exercise at home, you can take care of your parents, you can engage yourself to do some creative jobs like making
10
eco-friendly
seconds.
bag and sell them. Okay, so it's not so difficult for a human being to recover from mental health. Lockdown is very necessary, essential and beneficial for us to tackle the this crisis or crisis phenomenon. Thanks moderator to provide me a sense
Okay,
to
so thank
talk
you,
in
Ms.
detail.
Ronak. Okay, so let me call the last debater for today's debate session, Ms. Sushmita, and then the leaders will come again to conclude this wonderful debate session. So I'd like to give the stage to Ms. Sushmita. I give you the floor now.
Thank you, moderator, for getting a chance to talk about these topics. And our topic is lockdown makes our life miserable. And I agree with this topic. I find out sometimes of problems. So there are unemployment problems, sometimes early marriage, and decision. Many people have lost their job for the lockdown situation, and they do not get their salary properly. Because the private sector of our country has stopped for a long period, and they do not get the salary to their labor. If Since they do not get their salary, they are not maintaining their family properly, and it is so difficult for their livelihood, their children's education, and national communities. Uh, Nowadays, education sectors are going online classes, and it is so necessary the Wi-Fi connection and Android phone, and it is not so affordable for the poor pupil, and it is so costly for the pupil, and rural areas network connection is not proper well. For that reasons, the parents do not input them for their online classes. As a result, unemployment problem, which leads our social problems so much. So I have a question: how is it a solution to overcome this situation where the people are not concerned about it? And it's also a problem for this lockdown, because for a long time all of the education institution has stopped, and poor parents find out a solution to marry their girls, and it is a harmful for our future generation. When some students are going depression and they commit suicide, so it is a big question for opposite party. How is it recovered? their proper line of education. So
Time's up.
it's a question for living and also a question for our basic needs. So honestly say, I think lockdown makes our life miserable. And thank you everyone. Thank you moderator.
Thank you, Mr. Spita. Now I'd like to call the leader of the female side, Ms. Arifa Afroz Rimi, to come and conclude their debate from their side, followed by Ms. Shupriti Dotto. Ms. Rimi.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm from the favor side, and now I'm going to summarize the session. One of my mates said that giving time to family. Let's envisage that we are giving time to our family, but we don't have anything to eat at our home. You guys also talk about it is the final solution. Can you guys stop our people by lockdown in the case of transmission? Are you sure that you can keep all the people under the vaccination process? Isn't it better to give chance to your body work and boost your immunity? You guys are also talk about online education. Are you going to give all your exams, interviews in online in your entire life? Yes, it may be a great alternative, but not the solution. Do you know people are losing their job and some people are committing suicide? Didn't you hear the incident about Gaibanda? One mother committed suicide, and before committing suicide, she killed her daughter by herself, and the cause was she can't feed her daughter. Isn't it tragic? I must say, people will die by starving and by by giving time to their family if we keep saying that lockdown doesn't makes our life miserable. So after so I must say lockdown makes our life miserable.
Seconds.
Very much.
Okay, so as my fellow mate said on the topic of for the favor of the topic that lockdown, I would ask her that can you please tell me the rate of the suicide that has decreased after coronavirus has taken place in the country for an amount of 18 years or more? Because people means our graph shows that generally before coronavirus came in, we had the suicide rate more than normal death rates, and after coronavirus suicide rates are nowhere to be seen, and those are very numerous. Like you are saying a topic that for saving one people who is standing in front of a rail track, we must stop the train to kill thousands of people who are traveling in the train. Is that possible, dear? you can you just explain me this point, because the point you were saying just explains this particular scenario, which is not at all possible and it's not truth. Okay. And one of your fellow member was saying that people who like who are under the tourism business, or they like their profession is a tourist guide. Is tourism important than the cost of the lives of both the
10 seconds.
tourist people himself and the people who are coming to see the sites? No, right? Because they have their side business, and mostly people who are knowledgeable are only into this particular business, and therefore there are more online businesses nowadays which we didn't even knew before this time, so they can indulge themselves into that. So I don't think tourism and such cases are like of importance to stop lockdown. And students like who are getting auto passes are of secondary and senior secondary students, and no medical students and such higher level secondary higher level study students are getting that auto pass system, right? In that case, students who are sincere, they will find their way to study at any cost, and students who will always ignore their responsibility, lockdown isn't a particular excuse for them to stop their studies. So you cannot blame it on lockdown that students are not getting their proper field to make themselves educated. So I don't think a few of your points, like most of your points, doesn't match with the contrary to lockdown making the life miserable. And in case of depression and frustration, one might contact the counselor online, because there are a lot of counselors online to help you out with it. And people dealing with depressions, lockdown isn't it can't be the only cause, because they have their own life problems as well. So I don't think that the causes you are giving actually implies with the point. And I do think that you should also work in the same path as we are working in, supporting the lockdown. Because if life is there, then everything will be we can get into track after everything comes in certain point of like everything gets quite well. But if life doesn't exist in the art, then what is the point of your politics, your poverty, your economics, then there's no point of these things without the life. Okay, so I think life is the first priority before anything. May it be
Okay,
study.
thank you, Miss Shupriti Gupta.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yes, she was the last debater for today. I must say, all of you debaters have spoken really nice, and it was a really fun debate to watch. I'm really amazed by the performance of all of you. Of course, there must be a winner and a loser. One team will win and one team will lose. But at the end of the day, the main task was to speak well in English, and almost all of you have succeeded in that. But yes, there were a few problems. I guess Sir will tell you the scores now and who won and who lost, and also who are the best speakers for today.
Tamim, would you mind telling